call meeting of the Grant County Election Board to order. Members present are myself, Chairman Craig Persinger, Mr. Tom Root, Stan Harris. First item on the agenda is an old business related to fines that were previously imposed by the board related to the Sound Balls campaign from here. I can state that I haven't changed my mind on the vote we made to waive the fines was 2-1 in favor, and I was the no vote. Such votes have to be unanimous, and I just haven't changed my mind. I'm glad Aaron Ball, has he complied with everything?
Yes.
I'm glad he's caught everything up, but I just think there was, year after year, we had the same issue, so I think the fine is justified, and I am not prepared to change my vote, so.
Would you be of mind to reduce it? I just don't think that the $1,000 fine is appropriate. I would like to, especially when we had some that even the day before hurried up and got their filings taken care of. If we are going to impose a fine, I would like to see it reduced.
I don't want to waive the fine entirely. If you can make a motion to that effect, I would be prepared to support that.
Do I want to put an amount in that, or do I want to make a motion and then we discuss it?
Like 500, I'd be prepared to, I wouldn't go 500. My preference.
For the total fine.
So I guess if I'm the one that has to change my vote.
All of the 3 filing periods, just so I'm clear.
One $500 fine.
I could agree with that.
I move that we reduce Jess's fine to a $5,000. No. $500 fine.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Pam Harris, second by Tom Root to reduce the previously instituted $1,000 fine against Mayor Jess Allenball, $500. All in favor, say aye. Aye. I guess we should roll call. Ms. Harris,
Aye.
Mr. Root,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So the vote is unanimous to reduce the fine. Someone will notify Mayor of that, former mayor.
Would that be Nancy
Yeah.
sending him a note, a letter?
So I find her email
Or
or we have good contact information for Jess.
Mm-hmm.
We would appreciate getting that.
Oh, that's another question. Is there gonna be a time frame on the fine?
We don't have much power to enforce. I suppose we could ask that it be entered on a judgment docket and enforced somewhere, but just, yes, something we expect it to be paid within 30 days.
I was gonna say with like, please take care of him.
We can't repo his car.
No, but at least something to make him, at least, please.
Yes. Okay. New business. We have a resolution, 2024 change vote center location. I guess I'd call on Nancy on the record. What's occurred with our previous vote center and how we got to needing to find a new vote center so close to the election.
I believe it was exactly a week ago today, last Friday. I'm not exactly sure who they reached out to. I think it was Pam, but St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church called and they had some pipes burst, which they don't even anticipate being able, even though the election is still a few weeks away, they didn't anticipate their problems being resolved in time to host the election. And they were disappointed. They've always liked hosting it. since they became a voc center. And so then we had to search for, Greater Second Baptist Church on 26th Street was suggested because that had been a previous polling location. And then the Faulkner Center was suggested as well because of its, proximity to, St. Paul Missionary Baptist. And then because it had also been a previous voc center. And I believe Greater Second, at one time, they hadn't even responded to the request yet. And Faulkner Center, it was my understanding, they were right on it and were interested. And so that is the proposal, that we move the St. Paul Missionary Baptist voc center over to the Faulkner Center.
I guess I meant to identify that our election deputy Nancy Bryant is here.
Oh.
Sorry. Thanks, Nancy. I know, Tom, you took the lead in communicating with the officials out at Lawrence Faulkner Center. Can you give a brief summary of your contacts with them?
Yeah, I spoke with Bobby Owensby, she's president of the board, and she reached out to her board for immediate approval. And they were gracious enough to accept for both the primary and the general election for state statute.
I can state that I dropped by the Faulkner Center. It's been a while since I've been in there, and I spoke to Aaron Murray. He's the manager or director of the center. He took me on a quick tour, and I think it's an adequate facility. It's well situated to be serve as a vote center, and I thank you, Tom, and many of the people, Ms. Bobby Owens being there, and Murray, and all the board members of the Clarence Faulkner Center, because we were in a jam, and appreciate their willingness to serve the community by serving as a vote center. Assuming we pass the resolution. Any other discussion on the item?
I don't know if this is proper time to add this, but I think on the resolution that you might have, I have got on here for the 2024 primary general elections and forward. I want to question that if, if you want that left on there, or if you want me to remove that. So I don't know if that's now or.
I'm assuming once we designate and amend our vote center plan, which is what the resolution calls for, to identify Faulkner Center as a vote center, and take subsequent amendment future years to designate a different place. So I don't think that language hurts us, but it's necessary.
So, okay, to just, for me, to just wipe that out.
Yeah, if you are offering that. Pam's offering to delete the words in forward, and is there any objection to that?
No objection that we can either leave it in there and change the vote center plan again if we think we're going to stay at the Faulkner Center, or do we anticipate going back to church?
I guess we need that decision to, one, see how it goes at Faulkner. I'm not expecting everything to go well there. Once we're designating it for the fall and spring primary and general elections vote. So we'll have two elections of work experience. Right. And the vote center. So I certainly expect everything to go well there.
So for now, remove it. You removed it.
Yes.
Okay, so remove it.
All right. Is there a motion to approve amendment 2024 number 4 as amended?
Make a motion to approve amendment 2024 number 4 to the Grant County Vote Center.
And I just seconded.
Motion by Tom Root, second by Ms. Harris. This required the unanimous vote, so I'll ask for a roll call. Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
And I vote aye as well. So resolution to amend our vote center plan passes unanimously. Want to sign that?
Approve the minutes from the last meeting.
We could
Just a reminder whenever you want to finish.
three.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I can borrow Nancy's pen. If you- Is that okay if I, just to sign it? Promise I don't have to.
Since I had to borrow yours.
Just for Dollar General, I can pick up a couple extra.
But it's the shop.
Yeah, I do too. Every time we go to a conference, we,
I'm partial to those. I have like 2 boxes in my desk. So I do give those out occasionally to people.
Yes,
and that's from the last meeting. I just.
I believe Tom is gonna have a motion to add an item to the agenda.
I gave, since there's no here for public comments. That was the third thing on the agenda.
Do we want to just for the notes and for, to just address that?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Item number 3, public concerns about political campaigning via text with no disclaimer. Our office, meaning the clerk's office, myself personally, I don't know, perhaps, I don't know if Tom or Pam has been contacted person, but anyway, we've received numerous inquiries about and concerns about mass text messages that have been distributed on behalf of various campaigns via text message. And the individuals who filed the complaints said that they did not contain a disclaimer. And the individuals inquired as whether a disclaimer was required, and whether the county election board could enforce the provisions requiring a disclaimer. I have determined through my own research that county election board does not have jurisdiction over electronic communications such as text messages. And I have replied to individuals and given Nancy permission to circulate my personal reply to the various people who inquired. And my conclusion was that the county election board lacked jurisdiction over that subject and that we would not be conducting a hearing because we lack jurisdiction. I'm not infallible, certainly, and we wanted to make sure that someone other than myself reached the same conclusion in contacting the state election division. Their co-general counsel, we received confirmation that my reply was correct legally, that they concurred with my conclusions. I know Tom also emailed co-chair, state election division, and received the same response that they concurred with our conclusion that we lack jurisdiction. So accordingly, unless there are objections from any board members, we don't need to take action, not to take action. But I've determined that we will not be setting a hearing unless there is an objection by either of the other 2 board members. Are there any objections to that?
No objection.
Showing no objections, for the record, county election board will not be conducting any hearings as to text messages, disclaimers. The reason that we have determined we lack jurisdiction to do so. All right.
I'll just make a point of interest here that they could reach out to the FEC if there was a violation
Right.
that they thought, so.
For those who,
Yeah.
you want to give some details as to what you think on that.
Yeah, it's just the FEC handles.
Federal Election Commission.
Yes, they handle all complaints or challenges to the disclaimer on media, social media, text and all. And there was an opt-out on that message that the people, if they did not want to receive that text, they could opt out to that. So that wasn't in violation of that either.
I know I've done that on several text messages where the ones I've responded to usually say, if you reply in a text, stop. And they'll take you off the list. So for any unwanted text messages, that should be an option to take advantage of. Tom, did you want to add
Yeah,
agenda item? We just got an email yesterday, so we didn't have time to put it on the agenda.
yeah, I'd like to add, VSTOP has recommended to the Secretary of State that we do a post audit in the Grant County primary election. So we need to, as a board, sign this form going forward with this audit process. So there is a resolution of the Grant County Election Board that I make a motion that we sign and forward to the voting technical oversight program, and then forward to the Secretary of State to initiate this post audit.
Okay, so procedurally, I'll recognize that as a request by Mr. Root to add VSTOP audit to the agenda, and without objection, I will add that to our agenda. And subsequently, Tom made a motion. We've been provided a resolution by VSTOP to approve post-election audit. Is there a second to that motion?
I seconded it.
Motion by Mr. Root to approve the resolution, second by Ms. Harris. Any discussion beyond what Tom has offered? I would just show that VSTOP stands for Voting System Technical Oversight Program. And as I understand it, we've met with them at the past two conferences.
These audits are voluntary right now. And they're just, I forget, they said this is their third year, and I forget how many counties, but yeah, they speak at conferences about it. So they, Pam and I, when we were in Hammond, Indiana a few weeks ago, they spoke on it. And so, so they must, after we reached out and said, hey, we're interested, then they must go to the election or the Secretary of State and say, approve this, so it is all voluntary. They weren't telling us, we think you should do an audit. At this point, it is all voluntary. I guess it's kind of like a pilot program, I guess. I don't know,
Yeah, so
but
our
we
understanding from
wanted to do it.
the conferences we've been to, the VSTOP is run by Ball State University, by officials of Ball State University, and is formally affiliated with and approved by the Secretary of State's office. So I think it's a good idea for best practices, and there is no cost to it, as I understand it.
I don't think so.
I would enthusiastically support this because I think it's certainly a good practice to ensure we take every step to ensure election integrity. So there's a motion for the board to approve the resolution. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimous. I believe there was an omitted item as well regarding approval of minutes from the last meeting, the meeting of April 2nd. Is there a motion? Copies of the minutes have been circulated to board members. Are there any questions or amendments to the minutes from the April 2nd meeting? There are none. I'll entertain a motion.
Since I acted as chair for that meeting, I'll let.
We accept those minutes.
All right. I'll second. Okay. There's been a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, say aye. I wasn't present, so show. I'll show the minutes approved.
You're only allowed one absence, Craig. I would like to thank Mr. Hunt for filling in.
Yes, I would to Tom Hunt. Called him out of retirement, so he didn't have anything to do that day. Are there any other items to come before the board today? There is one discussion item. I asked Pam the other day whether we have a budget. we're gonna have some difficulty getting notice of the new vote centers out to all the voters. Due to circumstances beyond our control, we've got to make some changes to our vote center locations. What, I know our friend Morgan will, I hope, help us by
Yeah.
running something in the paper regarding the new, the changes to the vote center locations.
I would think too, because we did this obviously when we went from the 32 to the 11 in 2020, like at St. Paul Missionary, put a sign. I mean, just, we obviously don't have to do all 32 now, that far in the past, but the couple that we changed, maybe have a sign made that they'll post, that we could get posted on their door in case, like you said, getting the word out if people do show up to one of the, like Westview for early voting or St. Paul.
Do we have a budget for
We
publicity?
do, but I'm sorry, got busy and I have to check it out. So we'll check into that and I'll shoot you an email. Would that
Yeah.
be okay? And I apologize for that.
I think under the circumstances, we should probably use the funds in that budget item to at least print out handling. It's probably impractical. It's costly to send.
Can we use money from the Allen Ball fine that's paid for that purpose, or where does that money go?
I think it goes to the general fund, but so it probably required the council
An appropriation.
an additional appropriation. Probably wouldn't have time to get that done.
I don't think it would hurt to put in the daily. Early voting is underway, the 2 Saturday voting, because those changed as well, vote centers. Just to make the public aware.
And I was gonna call WBAT, Pam and Nancy appeared before, so I was gonna be your agent, see if you,
Not since, I mean, they haven't asked us since,
Yeah.
Tim, George has been
well,
out
I'm
of
gonna
commission.
ask you, see.
They haven't even,
I did speak one time with Big John.
you did, that's right, you did.
But Nancy's a good one for a lot of details. She's detailed. So.
I'll be your agent. Put you a slot on the radio. Any other matters to come before the board? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
What thing is it, sir?
At 53.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I moved.
All right, without objection, we are adjourned.
We have 3 of these signed that latest
Right
resolution.
there's what,
There's
sign
one
there, if he's not.
there.
Peace out. Everybody.
Yeah, but one more sign, oops, and and sir, I'm sorry. Well, I guess I'm not sorry, but thank you. Thank you so much for being with me.
I'm glad you could just hang out and not have to do it.
So,